Yes, yes.
So we'd love to just get some in the chat box. We'd love to hear what city you're in so we can start reading where we are all over the world.
Madison, Philadelphia, Florida, New York,
Germany, Minneapolis, Maryland, San Diego,
Canada. Hi, Cheryl. Laura.
Kentucky, all right. Switzerland, Massachusetts, Florida,
Austria. Hi, Kirsten.
Austria,
Encinitas. Hi, Rebecca.
Swiss living in Hampton, New Hampshire. Beautiful. Encinitas. Good. Well, we've got the whole world. We got a lot of the world represented. Dominican Republic. Awesome. Mercedes. That's right. Hi, Mercedes. So cool. Thank you. And as you come in, please feel free to share where you are. And we're actually, we're going to start by setting some sacred space and start our call with some chant. So we'll start with a chant, and feel free to sing along if you want to, or just listen. It's really up to you. And just let the words wash over you and through you and reverberate inside you if you choose to sing. And Amanda's going to do a beautiful chant for us, and then I'll lead us into setting some sacred space. So,
and hi, Diane. Welcome to Scottsdale. Hi, beloveds. And I love to chant. For me, it's like straight to the divine. It's just like straight there. And the beauty about chanting is not like, oh, do I sound okay when I sing? This is just about, and it's a beautiful way to move energy and to, like, this is a real, it's what I love about this chant so much is I'm going to invite us as we chant that we chant it to ourselves, we chant it in our homes, and then we chant it to all our brothers and sisters. So the chant is, please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. So whenever you're ready, just join in. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I will be a living sanctuary for you. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I will be a living sanctuary for you. One more time together. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I will be a living sanctuary for you.
Oh, thank you. So beautiful. So we'll send out a link to that chant too, so you can keep it going. Such a beautiful voice and song.
Thank you. Oh, beautiful.
So I love what you said, Amanda, about going right to the divine and chanting being the representation of that. And these circles and these calls that we're doing, I feel like it's our opportunity to do that too, to go just right to the divine and get our own selves and egos out of the way and just plug into what's in the collective, plug into what is available for us to restore and replenish and keep coming back to trust and faith and love during this time. And so I'm going to start us with a little prayer. And I just happened to draw a card because I felt like there was a message for us. And I want to start by showing you from this deck, Earth Warriors, Alana Fairchild. It's a wonderful card deck. And I'm going to pronounce this hopefully right. But I got the number 4, Goddess of Teotihuacan. Goddess of Teotihuacan. And I'm guessing that's maybe from Mexico, or a goddess from that somewhere in South America, it sounds like. And I just want to read this to you and invite you to close your eyes for a moment. So what is this message for us today? She guards the waters of life. The ancient guardian mother protects the waters of life and offers her protection and blessing. Her appearance ushers a time of purification and cleansing, leading to enhanced fertility. You are a creator of new consciousness, a generator of positive energy as fuel for constructive outcomes. We need your vitalized being to keep nourishing the human collective with helpful alternatives to mainstream consciousness. You will be protected and supported at the deep level of soul in order to become the creator and the custodian of this clean reservoir of consciousness from which souls thirsty for purity, relief, and love can drink. The ancient mother will help you to help her and the many creatures within her care. She will help you to fearlessly be inventive with your loving creations for healing consciousness. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself, so I want to start with that. That feels so alive and true for what I know I'm trying and doing my best to lean into at this time, and inviting all of you to lean into, to allowing yourselves to be this source of consciousness. So let's set this sacred space to refuel today so that we can all be and lean into that invitation and that calling that card invites us into. So I invite you to take a moment, and wherever you are, to acknowledge your breath, allow it to deepen, allow your body, and I'm just noticing, allowing my body here as I sit here to, even though I'm holding posture and sitting strong, that I am allowing my body to rest and to relax into this space. And I invite you to do the same, to roll your shoulders up, back, and down, to let your head roll from side to side, even just a little bit, to let your neck relax, and to breathe into any of the muscles where you can feel any tension or tightness in your body. We've all been carrying so much individually and collectively around this pandemic and this time, and I just invite you to give your body some love right now. Breathing into the muscles and the places that you need healing or that need relaxation. And even if it feels good to you to use your hands to massage your neck or shoulders or your arms or hands, and just give yourself some loving touch for a moment. Sometimes we forget that we can do this for ourselves, that we can take just a moment to breathe and give our body some love and some nurturing and restoration. And so just taking a few moments to do that and to listen to the messages from your body of where your body might be calling for some more love, attention, healing. And your body has so much wisdom inside of it to offer. So take another full deep breath. And I invite us all, as we begin this journey together today, to surround our container with this beautiful sphere of light, this beautiful sphere of light, that only that which is in service to our highest consciousness and highest good is allowed into this space, and anything that's not is to remain on the outside. But only that which is in service to your highest good, to shifting consciousness to a place of being closer and more connected to the divine and to your higher self, to your goddess self. And that we allow this time and space to be a place where that journey happens from head to heart, from ego to soul, and we open and listen to the greater guidance that's here and available for all of us. And I invite you now to imagine that you're sending some roots from your feet right down into Mama Earth beneath us, into this incredibly abundant, lush, and beautiful Great Mother. The Divine Mother that our card spoke of in the beginning of our circle, that would source us and feed us for whatever it is that we need to do, and however it is we're being called to show up and serve and be available and be present in our lives, that we can source that from this divine guidance that is always here for us. So root your feet down. Imagine that you have this beautiful taproot going all the way down into the earth, all the way to its core, if that feels good for you. And you have many roots that spread out far and wide, deep into the soil, deep into that abundant richness that Mama Earth provides. And imagine yourself as a tree, perhaps in a beautiful place in nature, perhaps a place that you've been to before, or that you dream of or have seen in visions. And just see yourself surrounded with lushness and life and abundance all around you. And as you breathe in, take in that infinite abundance. And as you breathe out, imagine that you are sending your intentions, your gifts, your light out into the world in that out breath. In whatever way that you are meant to lift and touch others, support and share light, that your out breath be sourced from such richness and abundance that you have more to share, to give, to offer. Connecting right directly to source energy, whether you call that God, Goddess, Nature, Mother Earth. Just imagine yourself being deeply rooted in that presence and that power. And all your needs and everything you could need in this time is provided for, is available, is abundant. When you are connected to that infinite abundance of source. And so you can imagine yourself for just a few more moments as this rooted, connected, beautiful tree. Maybe your tree is filled with fruit. Maybe it's covered in flowers. Maybe it's a strong, mighty oak tree, or maybe it's an aspen tree or a banyan tree. I'm thinking of those beautiful banyan trees in Hawaii. Whatever feels like connected for you. And as trees have lived for some or thousands of years on this planet, I want us to now imagine our connection to our lineage and to our ancestors, both our lineage of light, which could be soul ancestors or light guides, angels. It could also be actual ancestors in your bloodline, and just taking a moment to give thanks for their impact, their continual love and protection, their wisdom that they have to offer here and now during this time. And just take a moment to offer reverence and thanks, if that feels appropriate for you, to your team of light. Your team of light is made up of so much love and protection from loved ones who have crossed, from your guides, your angels. And so just imagining yourself surrounded in that circle of light, that team of light. And you can take a moment, if it feels appropriate to you, to put a hand on your heart or your hands in prayer, to just offer a bow of thanks. And to remember how much love and support you have. Again, tapping into that theme and that idea of the infinite abundance from source. And knowing that these guides, that these angels, they can hold whatever it is you're feeling. They can hold when you feel like it's too much and you need a place to go and you need a place to cry, you need a place to fall apart, that this team of light is always here for you. In your quiet times of prayer and journaling, remember to lean on this unseen support, seen and unseen support. And so let's take a few more full deep breaths together and see if there, in this moment, if there are any messages, symbols, colors, words that come through as we're tapped into our team of light, as we're tapped into that guidance, that protection and love. If anything comes through for you, just we're going to take a few moments to breathe and be in silence so you can listen. And so remember, you can come back to that place anytime you like. We're going to move into our circle now. Thank you so much. I invite you to feel into what is an intention that you'd like to set for today, or that you're calling in for yourself right now. Just take a few deep breaths with that intention and place a hand on your heart. And when you feel connected to it, and I invite you to type that into our chat box here and share what your intentions are for today. And once we get a few up here, we'll start to read them. Joy, we got joy. Healing my heart. Empower myself with wisdom and guidance. Direction, opening. Healing, self-love.
Surrender. Clear some clutter. Loving connection.
Feeling connected to the divine feminine.
Yeah. Self-love.
Confidence.
Clarity for service. Beautiful.
Help to radiate.
Love and light.
Feel more connected with myself and listen inside. Well, that's good, because that's what we're going to be doing today, right?
Inner peace and serenity.
Calmness and ability to share this calmness with others.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody, and honor the divine feminine within me and the universe.
And being a beaming of divine expression. It's beautiful.
So you can keep those coming. I saw a question that said, what was the deck again? It's Earth Warriors Oracle. And that's the card deck. It's a card deck that has 52 cards or 44. I'll put that in the, I'll send that in the follow-up for everyone. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'd like to turn it over to my goddess co-pilot here.
I'll take the goddess baton. Thank you. Thank you. And so, beloveds, as usually we invite you to get pen and paper if you have it close by, and if not, I mean, these are some questions and things I'd love to kind of chat about, or not just in this moment, to explore over this period of time together. And our first webinar, we talked about like really self-care, and then last time we were talking about leadership, and today I want to talk a little bit to like our inner resilience, right? And how we really do have this depth of this reservoir of sovereignty within us. And it does really feel that at this time more than ever, we're invited to tap into that inner sovereign being that we are. And you hear stories like, I don't even think most of us have tapped into what you hear stories about, a woman lifting a car off a child, or something like this strength that's within us when we need it. And what we also know is we're never handed more than we can handle, right? And that's why we're doing these circles, because when we can lean in our sisters and be vulnerable and share and show up, like there's the vulnerability, but there's such resilience and strength in that. So we're always talking about the self-care, but this is the time to really like tap in and welcome that inner resilience within you, because we all have it, and a lot of these experiences are what help kind of strengthen that muscle. So what I'd love for you to explore, and the first question I'd like to ask is, you know, whatever you feel that you're missing, you know, like, and of course, I know some are living alone and it's just like, I want to hug. And I read this beautiful article today, which I do daily anyway, but like, if you can't hug a person right now, but you can get out in nature, hug a tree. Like, it is just the most beautiful experience. So, but think about maybe what you feel that you're missing right now, right? So whether it's human contact, or you know, your yoga studio, or you know, whatever it is, you know, um, I want you to ask, who am I without these things? Who am I without? Maybe it's you've lost a job, or you know, something that you feel that you had and you don't any longer, or something that you felt defined you in some way. But who am I now without these things? And um, I'm a mother of two beloveds, and you know, I don't use the like go to your room thing and go think about what you've done. I don't do that, but it's almost like on this macrocosm, we're all being told, go to your room and I want you to reflect on what you've been doing. And so if there's any area of your life that you feel like you're just not in complete alignment with, we're being asked to pause and to reflect. And you know, it's interesting because let's say this only lasted a week, you know, it really takes at least 40 days to form a new habit, to form a new pathway, like a new way of being and doing things. So like, yes, we're like being sent to our room, but like it's, you're going to stay there, and you're going to stay there for a while, because everybody's getting these epiphanies like, wow, I don't really need to do this and or that. And it's like, and if you went right back into it in a week, you'd go back to the old habits. So it's almost like we're getting this long period so we can integrate this new way of being, because Mother Earth is so grateful. Her waters are starting to clean. You know, the wildlife is coming, as we know, because there's not so many planes in the sky and cars on the road. So this is a chance for us, you know. So asking yourself these questions like, what is it that I'm emerging into throughout this? You know, and even with myself, you know, I'm always wanting to grow and expand. And because I've had to slow down even more, you know, it's like I notice things about myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like if I'm up too fast a pace, I don't notice these things that are coming up for healing. So um, through this release, like what are you growing into? Like, so let's just take a moment to ask, so who am I without? And you can fill in the dots of without, or just who am I? You know, we're, you know, when somebody asks us, who am I? It's like, well, I'm a mother, I'm this, I'm that. But it's like beyond that, who am I? And then who am I emerging into? You know, so if it's not defined by this or this or this, or maybe you had clarity of some things that you weren't in alignment with that have to drop away at this time, or that you are really consciously choosing not to going back to doing. Laura, is there anything you want to add? I love the way you're.
I just love that, you know, the card we pulled was all about this infinite source of the waters of life, but that it's a time of clearing and cleansing away what, like the waters of life, they clear away what is not serving and what is not in alignment. And God, I know we use that metaphor all the time, like every New Year's and there's this ritual around like the burning bowl and we're getting rid of what we don't want. But my God, this time has really forced that. Like it really is. It's like, now it's time to really put your money where your mouth is, you know. It's time to really, what money we have left in a recession, put it where your mouth is, because we've been saying this thing of, I want to clear this, I want to clear that. And quite literally, like we're stuck in our homes and have this opportunity to clear even our homes. Like as you were speaking, I was seeing one of the things that has really served me in this time to get to a place of deeper truth has been cleaning out every single crevice of my home. Like every drawer that doesn't feel, every drawer that caused me stress because it was so messy, every closet, this clearing of like, that no longer serves me. That's no longer in alignment with my energy. And I'm not willing to have it in my home. Like
and
that's sort of.
I completely agree. And, you know, when it comes to our homes, I'm always, you know, feng shui, talking about the importance of that. But now more than ever, we're in it all the time. So I love that. So clear out the clutter, things from the past that just don't align with you. And that's what this is really about. Like, really, really pulsing to come into full alignment. So clear the clutter. And, you know, I will talk a lot about how our home is reflecting what's going on internally. So if things are broken, like this is around the home, either let it go or just fix it, you know. And one thing that I'd love to invite you to do, if you don't already in your home, create an altar, like an altar that just is this invitation to go inwards, to connect, to give gratitude, to receive guidance, and not only creative, but actually sit at it, like sit at it and ask these questions that we're talking about now. And one of you wrote, looking for guidance, looking for clarity, and you will get that. And you know what I think is so interesting is, like there's this microcosm, right? And then the macrocosm of, like, we want answers, right? So we're looking to these mother and father figures, you know, leaders, and there's just different opinions everywhere we go. And so more than ever, this is an opportunity to not be looking outside yourselves. Of course, we want to hear from the scientists and people, right? The real truth. But this is time for you to find your own innate real truth. Yeah.
Totally agree. Don't know if I can say it any better.
I'm going to pass the goddess baton back over your beautiful way here.
Oh, thank you. I mean, those questions to reflect on, I'm sure that everyone is in such a different, everyone's facing such different challenges and blessings in this right now. You know, everyone is experiencing different levels of stress or grief or financial hardship or whatever it may be, and all of this still applies. You know, like if we can, one of my practices, and I know many of the women on this call also is part of their practice because they've been a part of programs with both of us, but this idea of looking at, how is this happening for me? You know, how is it possible that this is happening for me? Whatever circumstances are a result of this pandemic, or the financial stress, or losing jobs, or relationships coming to end, is there any way that I can look at this, or what is the way I can look at this and say, how is this happening for me? And applying all of these questions that Amanda just asked from that framework, right? Is, how is this pandemic offering these gifts for me? And what am I emerging into, right? As Amanda said.
I love that. And I just want to, Tara has said here, my home is dirtier than ever. Because
Yes, I know.
And you know, what comes along with all this is surrender. Like, oh well. You know, really, and the being in it, you know. And so it's almost like you can clear clutter even while the house is messy. Because you know, the messiness is stuff that you still probably love and want, you know.
Yeah.
And also like finding your peace in the chaos of it all, you know.
I mean, I laugh because this, like, I'm really getting excited about all this clearing, you know, like organizing the closets. But then I go into my living room, and my son, who's 2, has taken every single drawer that I've just organized and dumped it all in the center of the room, and it's all mixed back up again. So there's definitely a very, very big dose of surrender in all of this. Yes, it's like, well, that just took 2 hours of my time, but it's more of the, you know, the organization of knowing where everything is, and just, it's like knowing everything in its right place. It's like, that's the internal process that's happening now. And it's okay if things get more messy with my kids' home. It's going to be chaotic and crazy, and we have to be so forgiving and patient with that whole process and with ourselves. And really, to be perfectionists in this time is gonna it's gonna drive us crazy. But
so sorry, somebody asked up there, I'd love to learn to better cope with grief, and Laura, I'll let you address this, but I just wanted to say I would go back to our first webinar where it was self-care, because that's such an important part of, because there's collective grief and our own personal grief, and you know, self-care will give us more resilience and kind of fill up our well more, so we can still process what's going on, you know.
Yeah, we really addressed that a lot in the first webinar, about ways to honor the feelings that are coming up right now, and everything we talked about today too is another way of doing that, right? Is being with what we're feeling, listening to it, and asking what is this here for? What's the wisdom in this? Let's just see, we've got some more notes in here. So we're just curious, as Amanda asked these questions, if anything, you know, in the question of what am I emerging into, curious if anybody wants to type just a few. I've got a little man knocking on my door right now.
Does he need a cracker?
I need a cracker, mommy. So if there's anything you want to type about what do you feel you're emerging into? When you tap into that question and listen, what comes forth for you? So go ahead and take a couple of minutes to do that. I'll be right back.
I love that, Noelle. As the whole society is in a huge break, it teaches me that taking a break to rest, heal, and play, and to connect with my inner truth, let's go of what's in my control. It's essential. I completely agree. And oh my goodness. Hello. Hi. Look at that. Hi. Oh, I love that. Is that Mr. Fox?
It's Mr. Fox.
Hi, Mr. Fox.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, sorry about that. We just had a visitor. Please continue.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you know, I always love to remember that 80-20 rule that really does apply to so much in our lives. Like, just remember, like, we don't have control of, you know, a lot of things going on in the world, but what we do have control is like 20% of what's happening, and then there's this 80% as how we are with what's happening. And I think that applies to everything. So, you know, just it's a great time to do your inner work and to find your own inner peace amongst the chaos.
Okay.
Hi.
I think I'm going to let you, Amanda, close our sacred space, if that's okay, because it's going to be a little bit a little bit loud over here.
Oh, I love that, Elsie, and I feel like I'm shifting stuff in layers, and I love it. Oh. And I'm just, and it reinforces my desire to start writing my book around bullying, as healthcare workers are being bullied into unsafe conditions. Thank you, Heather, for sharing that, and just giving so much thanks to all of you that are, you know, dedicating your lives for all of us, you know, in the healthcare, and people that are, you know, the front line of retail stores and restocking shelves for us, and people still coming and collecting the trash and all of that. Like, just I would love to, as we bring our circle to a close now, just to take a moment to let's just bring our hands to our heart center and give huge thanks, immense, deep thanks to all of the beloveds all over the world, that of the seen and the unseen, that are all supporting each other. Giving so much thanks and gratitude. And then I'm just going to invite you to bring your hands to your heart center, and let's just fill ourselves up with kindness and compassion and patience and inner peace and love. Love. You know, it is easier to be really loving with yourself when things are flowing. And so at this time, more than ever, I invite you to just be mindful of your thoughts, and, you know, that self-talk, with, you know, how we can be with ourselves. And I know myself, you know, and I'm really wanting to catch that when I am not being as kind as I can. Just be like, oh, we're doing the best that we can. So let's just fill ourselves up together as we're here as sisters. And I want to say, from Laura and I, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for, you know, it's so beautiful. And I love that. I'm just going to read. Hi. There's Mr. Fox. Oh, I'm learning to do a better job expressing my feelings and emotions. And that is so important. So important. And, you know, if you've got pen and paper, or a pen, like, just draw out your feelings, you know, express them, because it's so important. And pick up the phone and call a friend, you know, they'll probably want to hear from you just as much as you need to chat to them. So Laura, would you like to just come in and close with us here for the last moment?
I would love to. I want to thank everybody for being with us, and thank you so much for all that you shared, and being open and vulnerable, you know, even in this space and in this, on this platform, I can feel everybody really sharing and being honest and tapping into what's real and what's alive. And that's really, that is the best we can do, is keep tapping into what's alive, expressing it, sharing, connecting, coming together, and remembering that we are all so connected in spirit, but connected directly to source. Whatever that looks like for you, however you can get it, meditation, prayer.
That what Mama is.
Foxy.
Yeah, Foxy. You know what? Something to cuddle. I love that idea. I was cuddling with one of Neve's teddies the other night, like something to cuddle. You've got it going on. You know all the answers right there. Just if you want this message, just ask your children. Ask the children. They're so wise.
Is that your friend?
That is my friend.
Yeah. Hi. Have a lovely-
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Sending so much love.